We're with Kevin Vyse, who's Senior Packaging Technologist of the Food Division of Marks & Spencer, and also the Circular Economy Lead. Kevin, how much focus is being placed upon your packaging strategy in Plan A 2025?
Plan A 2025 is very important to us. It's the update of our Plan A strategy overall. Plan A is central to everything that we do at M&S, and packaging is going to be quite important now for this next period of our lives. We've made two commitments at our Ocean Conference. One was to be 100% widely recycled by 2022, and to have a strategy for one polymer for all packaging plastics by 2025.
Well, those are key aspirations that we want to follow up on. So let's look at recyclability first. Now, you've stressed that collection is the only way to successfully recycle. How is that to be achieved? And I think it's by 2022.
There's a lobbying government is vital in this. Very delighted to hear that Michael Gove is going to be seeing us on Friday to talk about policy in that regard. I think most of the industry want a joined-up policy across the UK. We don't want people running away and doing their own thing in corners. The single joined-up policy around collection will help substantially to achieve that. The other part of it is that actually 85% of our materials are already widely recycled by weight. We just need to close off the last 15%, which is flexible film.
Right. I mean, flexibles have been the problem. There's been no proper infrastructure for that collection. Now, you referenced the CFlex project as being instrumental in this. Can you just explain that project to us?
Yeah, CFlex is actually the successor of what was the old Reflex project. This is a wider group of people and brands from around Europe who are now meeting together on a regular quarterly basis to actually discuss in depth how we are actually going to make flexible films actually fully recyclable. In the analysis at the moment, we found that over 70% of the materials in flexible that exist in Europe can be recycled now if there was a collection and a recycle facility for it. So actually it's not the materials the problem, it's actually the collection and the recycling. The other 30% is multi-layers, and they obviously do need a lot of attention, and we're going to have to work hard on what comes next on those.
This sounds like brands are taking a lead where government perhaps might have been expected to do the same.
I think there is definitely a need for us to do this. We all want to be at a widely recycled status. All of the brands want to be there. We don't want to have materials going to waste, and flexibles are quite a large proportion of the materials that we use by SKU level, and so therefore getting that to a recycled status is quite an objective.
And is it just a matter of logistics? There's no sort of scientific or chemical reason why flexibles can't be collected and recycled?
Not at all, no, they can be recycled, that's it, end of story.
Okay. You've said also that you're aiming for just one polymer by 2025. Now, is that realistic? And if it is, which one's it going to be?
Everybody's asked me that question. We believe that actually if you look at the rates of collection for metal, glass and cardboard and the success that there is in that area, consumers have no misunderstanding. They just know that cardboard goes in this bin, glass, metal. Why not plastic? And what is stopping us using a single plastic for all the materials that we've got? We are already down to 3. 2 of those could also be rolled together in most cases. So it's not far off. And if we were to say tomorrow we had to do without it, all the materials except one, what would we choose? We'd probably choose polyester terephthalate. We'd go after that one because it's actually the most universal. There are others now in the pipeline that actually perform better than PET, PEF being one of them. So our eyes are we're looking at all these options that are coming downstream. So by 2022, we know there'll be 2 pilot plants up running PEF. There are new biomaterials, as we're hearing today at the conference, that also could play contender in that. So we're keeping an open mind, but we're building a roadmap on how that will be achieved.
You've mentioned PEF as a direct alternative to PET, and it has the capability to produce flexible packaging too.
That is still to be explored. We have fairly good confidence that it can be made into film, but we've not yet done the trials, neither of the owners of the material. But certainly in other areas like pots, tubs and trays, it certainly is viable.
And how much of this single polymer will be bio-based?
Our objective is to move over to a biosourced sawstock with this program. I think it's the only way to go, to move away from the fossil reliance. How much fossil and how much organic materials that we use in combination we will have to see. We're allowing our bridge to take us to 2025. So I'm assuming that we will be, and I think it's a fair guess to say that a lot of us will be using biopolymers by 2025.
I'm sensing that circularity is more important than sourcing.
Yes, absolutely. Circular design is absolutely the core of this. Is if you take that as your working principle, you're designing for sustainability, then you're going to be asking lots of questions about the source materials. And if you do ask them honestly, you are going to be driven towards a biosource.
And just to be clear, I don't believe M&S uses any biodegradable packaging. Is that still the situation with you?
Yes, largely. We are reluctant to engage in biodegradability because of the confusion there is with the consumer, because the current infrastructure won't accept it easily. And until we've actually got a really clear message around what biodegradable should be used for, then it's best to steer clear of it. Biodegradability has a place, but it needs to be a closed system, such as the London Olympics, where you could collect it all up and safely keep it out of a traditional recycling system.
It is the interaction with the consumer that we want to finish this interview on. So, firstly, what actually is meant by being transparent and local?
Transparent and local, well, it's having more engagement with the customer. In the early part of the new year, we have got a big campaign of the local store dealing with the local people, talking to them, finding out what their key needs are, and actually reacting accordingly. Not necessarily the same campaign in every store.
And how important generally are consumer patterns of behaviour and thinking in all of this debate?
Well, of course, absolutely important. They are being pulled backwards and forwards by everything they hear in the media. I think there is a point at which it's almost exhaustion now about what is the right message. We have to give clear, easy to understand messages through, and they're trusting the brand to deliver those.
Okay, lastly, and I'm not flattering you with this, but M&S has taken a lead so many times, and where you lead, others do tend to follow, so your exertion, the influence you exert on the market is substantial. I mean, where you go, do you think this is going to erode your point of difference when other people go the same route?
I don't think in this particular case eroding a point of difference is a major concern. We want to be the first to do it if we can. I think it's important for us all to do it together. Collaboration is going to be the watchword as we go from here. It's already, as we've seen today, started to happen in some big areas. The point of difference comes actually ultimately through the brand that you have and also the service that you deliver.
Are other retailers part of that CFlex discussion?
At the moment, no.
Thank you very much, Kevin.